Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. Who is the biggest obstacle between you and success? Is it the economy, the government, your boss, your past? No. The biggest obstacle is often the person in the mirror. Yes, you can be your own worst enemy, but here's the good news. If you are the problem, you can also be the solution. Your mind is the starting point of everything you will ever achieve or fail to achieve. It is both the engine that drives you forward and, if left unchecked, the anchor that holds you back. Most people don't struggle because of external forces like the economy, their upbringing, or bad luck. No, they struggle because of the internal limitations they place on themselves. If you want to change your life, the first place to start is not with your circumstances, but with your mindset. Now, what do I mean by mindset? It's the collection of beliefs, attitudes, and thoughts that shape the way you see yourself and the world around you. Your mindset determines whether you take action or hesitate. It determines whether you see challenges as obstacles or opportunities. It determines whether you keep pushing forward or quit when things get tough. And the key to mastering your mindset is learning how to control the thoughts you allow to take root in your mind. Think of your mind like a garden. If you leave it alone, weeds will grow. Weeds of doubt, weeds of fear, weeds of procrastination, and they don't need your permission. They grow naturally. But a successful person, a person who wants to win, doesn't allow the weeds to take over. Instead, they deliberately plant the right seeds. Seeds of confidence, seeds of discipline, seeds of belief in their own potential. And just like in a garden, what you plant and nurture is what you will harvest. Most people are walking around with a negative mindset without even realizing it. They tell themselves, I'm not smart enough. I'm not lucky enough. I don't have the right background. And you know what happens? That becomes their reality. Not because it's true, but because they believe it's true. If you believe you're incapable, you won't even try. If you believe you're not lucky, you won't recognize opportunities when they come. The mind will always try to reinforce what you already believe. If you believe you're not good enough, your brain will find evidence to support that belief. If you believe you're destined for greatness, your brain will find reasons to prove that to be true. That's why it's critical to take control of what you tell yourself. If you catch yourself thinking, I'll never be successful, stop right there and replace it with, success is a skill and I'm learning it every day. If you hear yourself saying, I'm not good at this, change it to, I may not be good at it yet, but I will be. This is not just wishful thinking. It's rewiring your brain for success. You see, every time you think a thought, it creates a pathway in your brain. The more you think it, the stronger that pathway becomes. If you keep thinking negative thoughts, those pathways become superhighways. But if you start shifting to positive, empowering thoughts, you create new pathways. Pathways that lead you to action, persistence, and ultimately success. Now let me tell you about a man I knew years ago. This man had every excuse in the book for why he wasn't successful. He said, Jim, I didn't go to college. I said, Jim, I did a lot of millionaires I know. He said, Jim, I don't have connections. I said, well, you don't need connections to start reading books and learning new skills. Then he said, Jim, I've failed too many times. And I told him, so did Abraham Lincoln before he became president. So did Thomas Edison before he invented the light bulb. So did every great entrepreneur before they found success. This man was his own worst enemy, not because he lacked potential, but because he had let his past and his fears dictate his future. His mind was full of weeds, and instead of pulling them out and planting new seeds, he was watering them every day with his excuses. I want you to ask yourself, are you doing the same thing? Are you allowing fear to keep you from taking action? Are you letting self-doubt rob you of your future? Are you feeding negative thoughts instead of positive ones? One of the greatest ways to change your mindset is through what you consume. The books you read, the people you listen to, the conversations you engage in, these all shape your beliefs. If you're constantly around negative people, hearing negative news, and filling your mind with discouragement, what kind of mindset do you think you'll develop? But if you surround yourself with uplifting people, read books that challenge and inspire you, and feed your mind with possibility, you will start to think differently. Another way to shift your mindset is through action. You see, confidence doesn't come from sitting around waiting to feel ready. Confidence comes from doing. The more you take action, the more you prove to yourself that you are capable. The more you step out of your comfort zone, the more your comfort zone expands. That's why I tell people, if you want to build confidence, stop waiting, start doing. If you want to master your mindset, you have to become aware of your self-talk. You have to be intentional about the messages you allow into your mind. And most importantly, you have to take action even when you don't feel ready. Because the truth is, your mind will always try to protect you from discomfort. It will always give you reasons to stay where you are. But greatness is not found in comfort. It's found in growth. So starting today, I want you to make a decision to stop being your own worst enemy, a decision to stop letting negative thoughts run your life, a decision to feed your mind with empowering beliefs, a decision to take action even when fear tries to hold you back. Because when you master your mindset, you master your future, and when you master your future, success becomes inevitable. Taking responsibility is a cornerstone of personal growth and success. Most people spend a lot of time blaming their circumstances, whether it's their upbringing, their environment, their boss, or the economy. But what I've learned throughout my life is this: blame is a trap. It takes away your power and your ability to make a change. As long as you blame someone or something else for your situation, you give up the ability to take control of your own destiny. You can't change what happened in the past. You can't change the way you were raised or the things that have happened to you. But here's the key. You can always control your response to those situations. You can control how you think, how you act, and what you choose to focus on. And when you take responsibility for your actions and decisions, you give yourself the power to transform your life. The first step in taking responsibility is acknowledging that your life is a reflection of your choices. That's right. Every decision you make shapes your future, your habits, your daily actions, your mindset. All of these are within your control. I once heard someone say, "You're not a tree, you can move." And that's a powerful reminder that we are never stuck unless we choose to be. So here's the challenge. Stop blaming people, circumstances, or bad luck for where you are in life. Yes, life can be tough. Yes, there are things you can't control, but what you can control is how you respond. The moment you take full responsibility for your life, you regain the power to change it. I want you to think about the language you use when you talk about your life. Do you say things like, "I can't do this because of where I came from," or "I would be successful if I had the right breaks"? That's the language of someone who's giving up their power. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying you should ignore challenges or pretend life is easy. Life is tough for everyone at some point. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they respond to adversity. When you say, "I'm not where I want to be because of external circumstances," you give away your power to change. But when you say, "I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm going to change things starting today," you've taken the first step toward transformation. This shift in perspective is the foundation of success. The second part of responsibility is understanding that your attitude plays a huge role in your success. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can control how you react to what happens. This is the true measure of responsibility, your ability to control your attitude in the face of adversity. When you take responsibility for your mindset, you shift your approach to challenges. Instead of seeing them as roadblocks, you begin to see them as opportunities to grow. For example, I once met a man who had lost his job and was struggling to find another one. He could have easily blamed the economy, his former employer, or even the job market. But instead, he took responsibility for his situation. He said, "I may have lost my job, but I'm not going to lose my future." He spent the next few months taking courses, building his network, and improving his skills. Eventually, he landed an even better job than the one he had lost. But here's the thing. He didn't wait for the perfect opportunity to come to him. He created it through his actions and his attitude. That's the power of responsibility. It gives you the ability to change your life, regardless of external circumstances. When you take responsibility, you stop waiting for someone else to make your life better. You become the person who takes action, who makes things happen, and who keeps going when others quit. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make is that they wait for the right time. They say, "I'll take responsibility for my future once things calm down." Or, "Once I have more money, I'll start working on my goals." The truth is, there will never be a perfect time. There will always be challenges, obstacles, and reasons to delay. But successful people don't wait for the perfect moment. They take responsibility and act anyway. When you take responsibility for your actions, you also take responsibility for your mistakes. Too many people make excuses when things don't go right. They blame others. They make up stories about why they couldn't succeed, and they get stuck in a cycle of regret. But here's the truth. Mistakes are part of the process. You will make mistakes. Everyone does. But it's not the mistakes that define you. It's how you handle them. If you learn from your mistakes, if you take full responsibility for them, and if you use them as stepping stones, then those mistakes become lessons, not failures. Another powerful part of taking responsibility is recognizing that you are the architect of your future. You may not be able to control everything that happens to you, but you can control your direction. Don't let the winds of life push you around like a leaf in the breeze. Set your course, take responsibility for your journey, and stay committed to your goals. If you're unhappy with where you are, look at the choices you've made to get there. If you want to be somewhere different, you have to make different choices. Take responsibility for your decisions and recognize that every choice you make today shapes the person you'll be tomorrow. Taking responsibility is not about blaming yourself or feeling guilty. It's about taking ownership of your life and choosing to act with intention and purpose. It's about saying, "This is my life, and I will make it what I want it to be." So stop waiting for the world to change around you. Take responsibility for your life, your actions, and your future. When you do that, you will realize that you are far more powerful than you ever imagined. You hold the key to your success. The question is, what will you do with it? Discipline is the key that unlocks the door to success. In a world full of distractions, instant gratification, and fleeting trends, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters and get sidetracked. But here's the truth. Small daily disciplines, practiced consistently, will always lead to greater success than sporadic bursts of intense effort, followed by periods of laziness or neglect. Success isn't about grand gestures or massive overhauls. It's about the little things that you do every day, even when no one is watching. If you think about the people who are successful in life, it's not because they have some kind of magic formula. It's not because they've discovered some secret shortcut. It's because they've mastered the art of doing the simple things consistently, even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient, and especially when it doesn't feel rewarding at first. They've learned that success is a result of compounded efforts. Just like interest grows over time in a bank account, your efforts, small and consistent, compound to create wealth, health, knowledge, and fulfillment over time. Now, the truth is, most people underestimate the power of small disciplines. They think that because the effort doesn't seem significant at the time, it doesn't matter. They think, what's the harm in skipping this workout today? Or it's just one bad habit, it won't make a difference. But here's the thing, it's those small things that add up over time. Each time you skip a workout, each time you neglect a responsibility, each time you ignore a small goal, you create a pattern. You set a precedent for yourself that says, it's okay to quit. It's okay to settle. And when you allow that pattern to take root, it becomes harder to break it. But if, on the other hand, you make the decision to show up every day, even when it's difficult, even when the results aren't immediate, you're building a discipline that will carry you through the toughest times. You're building a habit of consistency, and consistency is the foundation of success. One of the most powerful lessons I ever learned was that success isn't about being extraordinary in every moment. It's about being ordinary in an extraordinary way. What do I mean by that? It's about doing the simple things with excellence. It's about showing up when others don't. It's about doing what's right, even when it's not glamorous. When you make discipline a habit, it becomes second nature. You no longer have to force yourself to take action. It becomes your default setting. Let's talk about goals for a minute. You've probably heard a million times that success starts with setting clear goals. And it's true. But what most people forget is that setting the goal is only the beginning. It's not enough to just declare, I want to be successful. What separates those who achieve their goals from those who don't is the ability to back up those goals with disciplined action. The moment you set a goal, you have to make a daily commitment to that goal. You have to break it down into small, manageable steps, and then work toward those steps consistently. Take a goal like reading a book a month. It's easy to think, that's not such a big deal. I can read a book a month easily. But here's the reality. A month goes by quickly, and life gets busy. The key to reaching that goal isn't in the occasional weekend binge reading session. It's in reading a few pages every day. It's in making reading part of your daily routine. Whether you're in line at the grocery store, waiting for an appointment, or winding down for bed, you can read 10 pages a day, and by the end of the month, you'll have finished a book. It doesn't sound like much, but when you stack that habit over the course of the year, you'll have read 12 books. And by the end of 5 years, you'll have read 60 books. That's the power of small disciplines. It's easy to get excited about big goals, but the real challenge lies in the day-to-day process of achieving them. It's about waking up early to work on your craft when everyone else is sleeping. It's about choosing to take the stairs instead of the elevator. It's about saving a little bit of money each month, even when you don't feel like it. It's about putting in the work when the outcome isn't guaranteed and when you feel like giving up. It's in those moments that your character is built. It's in those moments that you either stay committed to your goals or let your doubts and fears take over. Now, the most powerful part of discipline is this: it creates momentum. Once you've practiced a habit for long enough, it becomes automatic. The hardest part is always starting. But once you get over that initial hurdle, the momentum of your small, disciplined actions propels you forward. This is how successful people keep going even when they face setbacks or challenges. They don't stop. They don't let one failure or one difficult day derail them. They keep their eyes on the bigger picture, and they trust the process. When you make discipline a daily part of your life, it also builds self-confidence. You see, every time you stick to a commitment, no matter how small, You reinforce the belief that you can do what you say you're going to do. That's the true source of confidence, not some external validation, but the internal belief that you are in control of your actions and your future. Discipline is what keeps you moving toward your goals, even when the excitement fades or the challenges pile up. It's the thing that separates the people who talk about success from the people who actually achieve it. You can't wait for motivation to strike. You have to create discipline first. Motivation will follow. So I encourage you, start small. Start with one tiny habit and make it a part of your daily routine. Then build on it, add another habit. Make each day a commitment to your future self. And as you do, remember, discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's the small things done consistently that will make all the difference. When you cultivate discipline, you cultivate success. Time is the most precious resource we have. Once it's gone, we can never get it back. You can always make more money, you can always make new friends, you can always find new opportunities, but time, once it slips through your fingers, it's gone. This is why managing your time effectively is crucial to achieving your goals and living a life of purpose. The way you spend your time is a direct reflection of what you value, and if you don't learn to manage your time properly, you'll look back and wonder where it all went. Here's the first reality that most people overlook. Time is not on your side. You can plan and plan and plan, but the clock is always ticking. So many people waste years thinking they have plenty of time, only to realize later that they spent their most valuable years procrastinating, doubting, or waiting for the perfect moment to take action. The truth is, the perfect moment never comes. The best time to act is right now. I want to emphasize this point because it's easy to fall into the trap of putting things off. You say, I'll get to it tomorrow, or I'll start next week. But here's the thing, tomorrow is never guaranteed. And every day you put off making progress, you're letting valuable time slip away. Successful people understand that the most important thing they can do is take action in the present moment. They don't waste time waiting for the stars to align. They make things happen today. You might ask, how do I make the most of my time? The first step is to recognize that your time is limited. Imagine if you had a bank account that was refilled each morning with a set amount of money. Each day, you'd have 24 hours to spend however you choose. But the catch is, once you've spent that time, you can't get it back. If you waste it on things that don't align with your goals, it's gone forever. This is how you should view your time, like a precious commodity. How will you spend your hours today? Will they be spent on things that move you forward or on distractions that take you away from what matters most? Most people spend their days reacting to life. They go from one distraction to another, constantly putting out fires, responding to emails, answering phone calls, or doing things that others demand of them. And while there's nothing wrong with responding to the needs of others, the problem arises when we allow these tasks to dominate our time. You see, if you're constantly putting out other people's fires, you'll never have time to start the fire of your own goals. The key to effective time management is learning how to prioritize. The most successful people in the world don't spend their time on everything. They spend it on the things that matter most. They understand the power of saying no to distractions, to activities that don't align with their goals, and to people who drain their time without contributing to their growth. Learning to say no is one of the most important skills you can develop if you want to protect your time and your energy. Prioritizing also means making time for the things that align with your long-term goals. It's easy to get caught up in urgent but unimportant tasks. You can spend all day answering emails, checking social media, and attending meetings, But at the end of the day, you'll feel like you've been busy but haven't actually made any progress. Successful people know how to focus on the important, non-urgent tasks that will move them closer to their goals. They don't just work hard, they work smart. Another aspect of time management is learning how to focus. In today's world, we're bombarded by distractions. You can be sitting at your desk trying to get work done, but then you hear a ping from your phone, and before you know it, you've spent the next 30 minutes scrolling through social media. Or maybe you're watching a video or reading a book, but your mind keeps wandering to other things. If you want to use your time effectively, you have to learn how to focus on the task at hand. One way to improve your focus is to eliminate distractions before you begin any task. Turn off notifications on your phone, close unnecessary tabs on your computer, and create an environment that supports your work. When you're focused, you get more done in less time, and you do it with greater quality. Time is money, but more importantly, time is your life. When you manage your time well, you get to spend more of it doing the things that truly matter to you. Whether that's working on your goals, spending time with loved ones, or pursuing personal growth. Time management also involves setting clear goals and deadlines. When you have a clear vision of where you want to go and what you need to do to get there, it becomes easier to allocate your time effectively. Without clear goals, you're just drifting, and drifting wastes time. But when you set specific, measurable, and time-bound goals, you give yourself a roadmap for success. One of the best ways to manage your time effectively is to break down large tasks into smaller, more manageable steps. Instead of looking at a big project and feeling overwhelmed, break it down into smaller actions that you can tackle each day. This will help you make consistent progress, and before you know it, you'll have completed something that once seemed impossible. Finally, I want to stress the importance of rest and recovery. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and grind, but the truth is, you can't be productive if you're burnt out. Time management doesn't mean working around the clock. It means working smart, taking breaks, and giving yourself the space to recharge. You can't pour from an empty cup. So make sure to schedule time for rest, relaxation, and activities that rejuvenate your mind and body. At the end of the day, how you spend your time is how you live your life. The more intentional and mindful you are with your time, the more fulfilling and successful your life will be. You are the master of your time, and it's up to you to decide how you will use it. Don't waste it. Don't let it slip away. Spend it wisely and watch as your efforts compound to create a life you're proud of.